Coach Orlando and Mama Moody do our best to figure out how we keep our youth from infecting our children. So before we get into all of that, Mama Moody, introduce yourself. Tell the folks about yourself.
Oh God, what's there to tell? I'm having one of those days. I'm Ro Del Grassi, also known as Mama Moody, and I've been doing comedy for so long that you would wonder why I'm working at a restaurant.
Oh my God. I get it, man.
Like
People don't get, even honestly, and I know we talked about this, but honestly, people don't even get that, like, even comics, how hard it is and what a sliver of a sliver of a sliver of people really forget get rich.
No, yeah.
Forget get rich is like crazy. Like the numbers there is like stupid. But even somebody who's like, I only do stand-up comedy and that is how I live, that is such a small group. And it's not just like they're not the only funny people. Like there's a ton of people who like
and the people I know that are just doing stand-up, they're on cruises, so they're gone for months at a time, and they're on the road. I mean, unless I want to ditch my family, which would be sad.
For them, for you, we can go over that.
I feel like for them, maybe. My she's already. It's so funny because I think about it, and my schedule, obviously before kids, was just so. Like I really. Sometimes when I was single by myself, I really sometimes go, what was I worried about? Like
it's funny, right? It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. Like and I know like people that are single.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's not the reality. It's just how it feels. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they'll because I've had women like we have. I'm like I know everybody has. I know everybody. We all have things that we're dealing with.
Of course.
It's just that when I'm looking at it, because I also had a very long time of being an adult by myself before I got involved. I know you've been with Daphne for a long time.
Yeah. 20 years.
But I had a lot, like, really, I'm like, what were you bothered by? Like,
it's so interesting because even now, because, my kids are older now, they'll be 21 next year, which is a whole other thing. Like, I need to do 3 months with my therapist on that alone.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world? But even now, I'm like, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't have AYSO. I didn't have to drive to dance class. I didn't have to take anybody to school. I didn't have, so I'm like, wait, so was I just that exhausted then that, like, now this is an improvement, but I'm still tired? Or, like, do we kind of, because I'm telling you, when I think about it just as a practical matter, got to get them to school. Oh, we got to go back over there. There's somebody's going to get a certificate for sitting in their seat all week. Great. Fantastic. We got to go back over there. Like, you know what I mean? And I go, how the hell did we do this?
I know. No, I know. And because obviously, like, we're so in our opposite worlds with it. And like this was the week when I think about the weekend, what you have to deal with, like all the outside components, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like this past week, like, it's been a lot, like, and honestly, so Chris and I are gonna start introducing more tools into our marriage. We just need a little help with our marriage.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly, it's actually, it's a great thing, but it's also doesn't come from a fun fact. Like, it's like, okay, there's things that he wants to address. Nothing, honestly, I don't know how people have affairs when they're not happy in their marriage. Why would you want to deal with somebody else's crap?
You and I are on the same page. I've told Daphne this before. I'm like, listen, let me tell you some things. There's some shit that'll go wrong. Maybe, who knows? We'll see. If you think one day you're gonna wake up and I've got some other family, let me tell you, there is 0.0 chance. Who wants that? That is crazy.
No, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, I was just not happy, so I found so somebody else's crap. somebody
Not,
else's business.
a whole
'Cause
new
that's
set
gonna
of
happen.
bullshit. A
A whole new.
whole new set. A whole new
I
set.
don't know if
Girl.
fun and floaty texts are worth it, buddy, because you're gonna run into the same crap that you had here. I don't get it. I don't get how
Not
people
fun and flirty.
right? Like what? The energy or the time? I don't get it.
I,
That being said, obviously, and we've
yes.
discussed that. Like I will never. There isn't a person on this planet that I would ever cheat. Nothing. And I'm so for real with that.
No, because
Add in
who
the
needs
fact
the
that
headache?
why would I want to? Why would I want to deal like this? You know where you'll find me if I need to escape my marriage? In a coffee shop, eating a pastry, having a cup of coffee, far
They're,
away.
they're like, ma'am, we're closing.
And then if I have to go somewhere after that, I'm gonna go to a tchotchke shop and I'm gonna shop. Souvenir spot. I'm gonna buy some raw honey that's local, and I'm gonna find some trinkets that I know would annoy the crap out of them if I brought home. That's what
That's
I would
funny.
do if I'm gonna escape my marriage. Okay,
That is really funny.
so I mean that's. But when I say that, it's also at the same time that this job that I'm at is just it's not worth my time and
Mm.
effort.
Mm.
Um, and no disrespect to restaurant people, I've been in it a long time. The industry is a young person's business.
Yeah.
I'm okay with saying I'm done with it. And at the same time, I've been saying, and I'm trying to reword it, figure out my career. I'm just ready to give that like my attention this upcoming year is my kids, my marriage, my house, and my career, and all the people I collaborate with.
Yeah.
I and I do not want to keep going to this, but there's that fear of like I'm leaving a job and
Right.
my work here is a little bit and it's starting to pick up, but it's not fully, and I'm scared. And
Right.
then we've had my in-laws living with us for a couple months because they
Mm.
moved to Georgia and they
Mm-hmm.
just moved out this weekend and they live, 6 miles away. And they were out on Saturday. They spent the house, their first night in their house. And then yesterday their house caught on fire. So now they're back here. Like it's
Are you
like
kidding me?
so that's and thank God they were awake.
Right,
And my
right, 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 right.
father-in-law ran up to the attic to put the fire. He saved the house. I'm like, oh my God. So
Oh
now
my
they've got to
God.
deal with all that, and they're like, we're back. And
What the hell? After one day though, like you're like, what? What? What?
like, I'm like, okay, cool. And honestly, like it's really what the dealing with it's like you said, why are but here's the other funny part about what you were just saying, Orlando, is like, then I'm gonna blink, the kids are gonna be
I
in
know.
college, and I'm still gonna be like, why am I so tired? Like I get that feeling of because look, I could have everything, my career could be going fantastic. I could have me time. I could have the house in
Mm-hmm.
order. The kids are doing great. Our marriage is doing great, everything. And then I could still find something, probably. Like
Right.
like it's
Right.
what you said. It's like we get to that point where we're working on ourselves and working on ourselves and working on ourselves. And then finally there gets to a point where like, can we just like graduate already? Like, why do we feel like we're in a constant master's school? Like, oh, and like we're those college students that
Yes,
are
you never.
in
Yes.
college. And it's like,
Yes.
where you
Yes.
like, shouldn't you have graduated? You're like, yeah, I'm taking another course.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yes, 100%. And so, okay, so we didn't have this planned, right? But we look. Okay, back up. But
I love how
I'm
that's
still
like,
I'm still learning this goofy camera, and I gotta stop talking with my hands. It's like the combination of my upbringing and this camera is like uncomfortable close-ups everywhere. Anyway, but what I so as we were talking, we were both saying like at a certain point it feels like it's enough already. Like I'm tired of my crap.
yeah,
Like that's where I am. Like you talk about marriage earlier. Like if I'd be like, you know what? Can we try a separation? Can we just
yeah,
see like what are we doing? What are we doing? Right? And so I'm curious with you saying that is because what I've been in an exact that spot. Is part of it, and I just want your take on this, is part of it that we are so aware now of the
Mm.
ability to do work and this and that, that actually there won't be a graduation. That actually we have to get used to life as that college student, because we'll always be able to be like, oh, what about this communication? Or what about this? Or what about acceptance around that? That like now that
Right.
our eyes are open, because I keep feeling like, when's the part where I'm okay and I can
Yeah.
just go like, when's that? When is that? Like, did
And
I miss what
I
the
love how you
hell?
said separation, because I'm like, can I separate from myself? Like,
Like, what is
you're
going on?
like, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna
Yes.
leave you, and you're gonna pop back up like, hey, and no, we're not talking now.
You're like, yeah, like you hear from like an ex, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't need this crap today. Block.
What
Do not. You change the name in the phone. Do not answer.
text to myself, just because I text myself all the time. Do not answer.
Unbelievable.
But so yeah, okay. What are my thoughts with that? What you were asking about, like, what if it is just a constant work in progress, which they say in a lot of 12-step programs, we're never going to graduate. But like with
Is that
AA,
so?
well, again, Al-Anon, we always say, like, I'm just never going to graduate, because we don't get chips or anything in Al-Anon,
Ah.
because you never stop thinking. It's for the disease of thinking. Like AA, not that A is any easier, but AA, they just say, don't drink for today, just don't drink.
Right. And
Today,
if
don't
every
drink.
day you don't drink, that's its own win. Right.
Exactly. Tomorrow you could drink, but today you're not going to drink. And then when you
Right.
wake up tomorrow, you're going to be like, "Hey, today we're just not going to drink."
Right.
And that's how they
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Al-Anon, and the thing with like Al-Anon and DA and even OA, you have to eat, right? You have to think, you have to spend money. Those are things that we have to do. You don't have to take heroin.
Right.
You know, you don't
Right.
have
Right.
to,
Right.
like,
Right.
and with that, it's like, so you never technically graduate. Like, people always go, "Why do you still go to Al-Anon?" If you went because of your brother, he's on issue. I have to go because my mind takes me down the rabbit hole, and my perception
Mm.
isn't accurate all the time, or it's not. I'm not thinking of right. Or guess what I could do? Orlando, I fight people. I've never even met them, and you know how many people I fought. I was supposed to brawl this weekend from last week. From what I was thinking about this weekend, at work. Like, I'm flipping tables. I'm out of here. I'm burning bridges. And the other part of it is, like, I don't want to have to be like, I'm not, and I don't want to get arrogant in my recovery or my work, my
Sure.
self
Sure.
improvement. Because, like, oh, I'm so enlightened. Like, I figured this out. Like, I
Right.
can't do that either, because I figured it out? No, because there's something that triggers it, or oh,
Right.
there's that again, or
Right.
and when we're out, unless we're gonna put ourselves in a bubble and never go out, like, just have everything work out completely and not be bothered by anything, never turn on the news, never
I know.
go on Facebook, never, sit in a forest for, the rest of our
Mm-hmm.
lives and be
Mm-hmm.
totally enlightened. It's just something's gonna trigger us, and how long we stay in the trigger is probably depending on how much work we're doing on ourselves. Pretty much, I think.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and I want to connect it to the other you were talking about, working on your marriage, and we always talk about the parenting, and it's funny that you say that piece about there's always going to be the trigger. I find myself in a space right now, and I'm curious where you are with this and how it plays into all the family stuff, where part of what's exhausting
Mhm.
is I actually do understand the triggers.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
to so oversimplify it, there was a time when Daphne would say boo, and I can't say that, right? And then I go, but now there's all this other work that happens where I'm again with this crap. So that I don't notice when it starts following me. So then I'm acting normal, and it's like, oh, are we going on a ride? Anyway, but then I'm like, so now I recognize that I'm triggered.
Mhm.
A big learning for me was, just because I'm working on the trigger doesn't mean that what you did was okay.
Yeah.
Because for a
Yes.
while I was making myself wrong in every situation.
Yes.
Oh, you're triggered. Well, I mean, that person just slapped you. I mean, definitely
Yeah.
slapped me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're freaking, you're triggered. A thing just happened. Like, yeah, you should be triggered, right? But then like having to work through all of it. So like having to communicate what I'm actually feeling and the blah blah blah. And I'm finding it's almost like when you first develop a habit. Stand up is a great example.
Mm.
When you first were doing stand up, I'm sure you had to remember like make sure you get the mic out of the stand. Make sure da da da. Make sure you move the stool over here. Don't forget this. Da da
Mhm.
da. We're gonna work the crowd. Blah, blah. And then after a while, you've been doing stand up for a while, and now of course you grab the mic and you move the stand and you know where you need it and you know where it is when it's time for your act out. Right? Like you've done it. I'm
Mhm.
at that. I feel like with some of this work I've done and trying to be a better communicator and trying to not
Mhm.
like just react and whatever. I'm in that early part where I've got, when you had your index card.
Yes,
What's
yes.
my next
I know.
joke? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like, you know, and
I know.
that's where I feel like that's where I am right now with some of these tools. That
Mm.
I'm just not. It's not natural, so it's a lot of energy, man.
I know exactly what you're talking, but from the outside looking in though, just
Yeah.
so from my perspective on how you've handled things, personally, the fact that when everything happened with your dog and you didn't go and beat the crap out of your that's progress. Like,
Serious?
what
No.
seriously.
Oh, that was not easy. Oh yeah, no, thank you.
The
By the way,
I mean, when
seriously,
I
that
saw
was
how you
not
handled
easy.
that, like, first of all, my heart was breaking for your family, but the fact that you I mean, if this was in the old days, you could have called me up. We would have bang,
I
bang,
mean,
bang. Fuck out.
I mean, done and
Get
done.
out of the house. Bring your dog. Get
Let's
in the car.
go.
In the
Let's
trunk.
go.
We're dropping you in the
In the
river.
trunk. In the trunk. Get in the trunk.
Dropping you in the river. Like
Unbelievable.
tying sandbags to your ankles. You're going in the river. You're gonna die.
Say goodbye. Go ahead. Say goodbye.
Say bye. Bring your dog. We're
Right.
going. Say
Right.
bye bye. Like, and I like just that would have been my first
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean this guy? What do you mean we're not going to go and beat the crap out of this guy? What are you talking about? Get in the
It,
car. Let's go beat the crap out of him. We're
like
going to
like
work.
now, like why are we still talking?
Yeah, load
Right.
up. Like what?
Right. Right.
Like
No, hundred
hair's
percent.
up, glasses off, earrings out. Let's go. Like
Yeah. I know.
and
I know.
and that's not how we handle things. Like
But
that's
but that's work. Like I will share
yeah.
here, and I'm glad you went there. And we didn't plan any of this, so it's kind of interesting even to me. I'm like, oh, where's this episode go? But like,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. But like, I had to do a lot of work. Like I had to do a lot of work because at multiple points I was like, you know what, this is way too much trouble. Like, why don't I just go up the street and end this?
Yeah.
Like, this is a lot of work, guys. Are we really doing this? I think I should just go up the street. Like, I'll be back pretty soon, and we can just end this.
Okay, like talk about the work, right? When Jacob was back in California, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I mentioned this, but this was in first grade, a little girl spit in his mouth and he threw up and
Ugh.
yeah, and I was like,
Whoa.
what now I will say like they brought the girl into the principal's office like when they found out because I was like, hey, I just found out something.
Yeah,
Like
that's a lot.
what the and
Right.
oh no, his teacher's like, oh no, I'm gonna find out what happened.
Yeah, yeah,
Found
yeah,
out
yeah.
the principal, she got sent home, this and that. When I tell
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you don't think I stalked that dad till the next
Yeah.
year when I was like,
Where?
I will fight you. I'll jump out of the bush and I'll fight you. Like, I don't know who you think you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And that I
Yeah.
could only send an email and not cause a ruckus because I didn't want to
Right.
be that mom. But and mind you, then next year, that guy got banned from the campus, the father,
No
because he wasn't
way.
he when you see him, you're just like, woo, you know how you could feel an energy. You don't
Yeah,
even have to
yeah,
say,
yeah, 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 yeah.
oh, this guy. Ooh, this guy, and mind you, not an energy that probably I could match his anger and take him
Right.
out.
Right.
Definitely a pound for pound, I could take him out because he was a skinny guy. But when I say
Right.
like, I could go there if I really tap into that.
Sure.
Let's go. I'll love it. I'll enjoy it. But
We need to talk about that too, but go ahead.
right, can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
I'm working on myself.
how do you find yourself, because I feel like I've not this I don't feel I've done a good job of, is along the way, is maybe I didn't understand it enough along the way and I'm just learning, but of communicating specifically to my kids
Mm.
what it means. Like, I would say things or I would talk about sometimes, a story or two from growing up, but like there's a fundamental level on which I actually did a joke about it once where I was like, I don't want my kids to have any idea what I'm talking about. The problem is they have no idea what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And so how do you communicate with your kids around, even like, how do they deal with somebody who does something disgusting to them? Like, how do you teach them to defend themselves but not like snap back to, hey, end it. You know what I mean? Like part of my instinct is like, well, it's a fight now.
Yeah. I mean, I will
It's like,
say
oh, you can't
Chris
do that.
has said, like, "Don't start the fight, but make sure you end the fight." Like,
Right,
that's
right.
I mean, that's and we kind of like, with Jayla, I guess there
Yeah.
was a little boy that just kept like, he just keeps bothering her,
Mm-hmm.
and, I don't do the whole, "Oh, he likes you." I don't buy into that.
Yeah, no, 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 no,
I'm
no,
not doing
no.
that. We're not maybe
Yeah.
that in the '80s that worked, but we're all traumatized, and there's a bunch of,
And
you
there's
know,
a reason why. Yeah.
assaulters out there now. We've all
For
enabled.
sure. Seriously.
So we're not doing that. And the minute I hear, and I mean, I love when I say this, when my mother-in-law's like, he probably likes it. No, no, no. We don't care. I don't care if he likes her. Then get her some flowers. Okay. We're not doing that. Right.
Right.
But um we have told her that you can tell a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
but then you hit him back.
Yeah.
And then she said, well, what if I go to the principal's office? And then my husband's like, well, then I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna buy you ice cream. So now she's heard
Right.
if I boys ice cream.
It's
She's like,
like, wait, let's go back over the whole process. I think he skipped a couple. I think he skipped a couple things.
she's been telling everybody like, hey, if I hit some boys, I'll get some ice cream. Like, shoot. Now she wants to take karate and literally like learn how to beat the crap out of people.
Because he's like, not only will I beat the crap out of people, but then there'll be ice cream.
It'll be
That's
ice cream.
hilarious.
So that's literally all she's taken. So I don't know
That's
what
so
we.
funny.
I think
Kids
that's
are
really what she's
hilarious.
taken from that conversation because that's all she's mentioned.
That's really funny. But you don't find that they're like, so, because I think my kids, now I can, when I go there, I go there.
Yeah.
And like even out or whatever, like I've told stories on stage where I've just like cursed whoever it is out because it's like, it's enough already.
Yeah.
And I think for my kids, and I don't say this part's not funny, I do think they found it scary on some
Yeah.
level. Right.
For sure.
And I don't feel good about that. I also feel like sometimes you got, you can't let people just fuck with you. But
Yeah.
I'm a cursor, and I'm the one who keeps saying, let's not curse. But anyway, but like you can't let people mess with you, but at the same time, so I was concerned along the way, like either will I show them the unhealthy part, or will they repeat it at some point, or in my opinion, worse. I shouldn't say worse, but to me, worse. Will they become the kind of person who never does confrontation and never stands up for themselves because they're like, whatever is always better than what that was like?
Well, okay, so right there, I feel like you're so much farther and progressed and enlightened on it because we're literally sitting here talking about what was the effects. Do you think our parents sat there? Do you think
I know.
my mom was like, I wonder how Ro felt got out of the car and screamed at another car for not making a right on red?
Yeah.
Because
No,
we've
right.
had that happen where I'm like, it's just a right on red. We're not even in a rush, and literally gone up to the car and screamed at them.
Right.
Okay. People sit there like, maybe I shouldn't have done. Maybe I shouldn't have shown up to her, what's her face's house, banged on the door, and told her to get out because she's been bullying my daughter. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. They don't sit there and think
Yeah.
about. I wonder what
No,
effects
you're
it
right.
had on the road. To be honest, literally, my dad was just here for a week during Thanksgiving, and I
Yeah.
love him, and his girlfriend's great. They're great for each other. I'm so glad they have each other. But again, they're like, maybe you should go to the cafeteria and get a job. And I want to be like, they're not, the cafeteria isn't hiring me. Okay. Like, can we just let it go? Can we just let this go?
Not do
Can you
this.
fix yourself inside so you can stop projecting onto me? Like, but they're not thinking that.
Yeah.
They're like, we did a great job.
Yeah.
You know,
You sorry, go ahead.
no, but the fact that we're sitting here like maybe there's things that we could do differently, or maybe it affected them about it. Like we're actually thinking about it.
Yeah. No, that's I'm glad you said that. And I think it's true. And it's funny, it's one of those things that I say to other people, but until you just said it to me, I wasn't thinking about it in that way. And I say this all the time. I especially say it to moms. Dads, it's true too, but I see more moms who go through this part where they're like feeling like they haven't done enough. And I'm like, in my experience, almost, I can't think of an exception, but maybe there's been an exception. Any mother I've known who's worried about whether she's doing enough is doing a ton.
Oh,
The
yeah.
mothers who are not getting it done seem to be living a very carefree existence.
Yeah.
Like they're not worried about it. I could be wrong about that, but that's just like a feeling I have. So it's funny when you raise that, because I have, I've thought about it a lot, but there's some ways in which, like, I'll tell you a quick story. Maya's in New York, so I'm always like, and so incident on the street, short version, drop their phone, goes back, friends, they figure out this guy has it. He's got on an Amazon vest, whatever. Did I say this already? Anyway, he has the phone, and whether he's joking or whatever, he's like, "Oh, I'll give it back to you for $1,000."
Oh.
So they go back and forth, whatever, and finally Maya like just surprises this guy and just wrenches the phone from his hands, like, "Give me my phone."
Oh.
Right? Just takes.
I mean, I love that, but I'm so scared.
Right? Both. I'm like, that's fantastic. Also, I just had a heart attack. And so, and when Maya described it to me, they said, I just had an Orlando Bishop moment. And it's a weird thing to be proud of, but I was kind of proud. So, like, even in their experience of me and sometimes wishing, like, this is embarrassing, people are looking, whatever, there was also learning that, like, yo, that's my phone. I've asked you nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Now you gotta get my phone.
and the fighter in me is like, she should have throat punched him too and then ran. Like,
why do we envision these things? Can I tell you the number of times I've walked through in my head, like, and then I could, throat punch is a gift, because nobody thinks about throat punches.
No,
it's boom,
real
and it's so fast.
Like,
it's so fast.
Gone. You're gone.
It's so fast.
Out. Like, out. Quick. Because like, you're like, yes.
See you later.
Everybody's expecting the crotch. You go for the throat. Oh, forget it. Like,
it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. But yeah. So anyway,
you can block the crotch. You got to go up for the throat.
And you just don't. You think you're getting punched in the face. Like, not to break this thing down too far, but like, you know what I mean? Like, when they think they get punched in the face, it's like, nope, too late. Now you're choking. Bye. But yeah, I've really spent a lot of time on that, of like, how much of this is me showing, like, yo, you got to stand up. I might always be kind. Like, I try to be kind. I think I'm pretty kind to people, but like, there's a certain point where it's like, it could be a rough world out there.
Yeah.
And
but
where's the balance?
Is amazing, honestly. Like, she's like, give me my phone. Like kind of gangster, like,
right? Like, I'm like, her friends must have been like, whoa, is this our musical theater friend? Like, what just happened?
I mean, the fact that she didn't add like a 2-step and then do a verse and then
right. I shall have my phone. Right.
Like, get down the alley. Like, amazing.
No, it's amazing. So anyway, but I think that's
amazing.
How do they get it?
You've done, because it's it's like the best parts of us.
Yeah.
Like you got the best, like really, your kids are, because to step back and one, honestly, terrifying to me to let them out in the world, but you
Oh,
have to, right?
I
I,
know.
I that
Yeah, that's woof.
like dropping them off at school. I say a prayer, like
I
that
know.
everybody, and
I know.
lately we've had to have the conversations, like we get messages at home, like, hey, they've been bringing again laundry pods. Kids are back to eating laundry.
No.
And I mean, my son is they're both very, very smart, but my
Right.
son is so analytical. And I go, you guys know that if your friends ask you to eat a Tide Pod or like a laundry pod, you say no. And my son looks at me like, that is ridiculous. Like,
I love that. I love that. I
he's
love
like,
that.
I, what? Why am I having this conversation?
Right.
Like,
Right. Are you
have
okay, mom? Like, what's
yeah,
going
like
on?
you should
Right.
talk to dumb kids, is what I feel like he's saying. You're like, "We're not dumb." Like, that's his whole I
Right.
mean,
That's the vibe.
he's like a young Sheldon. He's like, this is dumb. I'm not
That's
supposed to say that
funny.
word, but this is dumb.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah,
would never
yeah.
eat why would I eat
Why would I do
Tide
that?
Pods? And my daughter, look, you could bribe her with a candy cane. She's very, like, she loves candy, and I've had to
That's
say,
funny.
"Hey, if there's a stranger or somebody that we know, we don't like, as they get older, don't just take candy."
Right.
It's in a package, like, from her friends
Right.
and stuff, because they hand out candy here in Georgia. California, they don't hand out candy for
Oh,
nothing.
really?
Oh, yeah, Georgia, they're like, "Show take it." They're like, "Oh, you did good. Oh, you
Really?
showed up today? Here's some candy." I mean, they are passing candy out.
That's so funny. Like little things. Like, I mean, it's not a little thing, but you know what I mean. Like I would not think of that as like a thing.
Oh,
Like,
no.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no. It's like one of my friends who was a room mom, she goes, "Don't ever be a room mom," because in California, for, like, Halloween, like, here for Halloween, you could bring in whatever, cupcake. I mean,
right.
it's stuff like, as long as you bring it in and it's not a hindrance, like, they have to bring in bags and stuff, like, that
Sure,
kinda thing.
sure.
But, like, when she was room mom, she's like, "I can't make, like, treats with sugar in them." She had to make, like, mandarin oranges with a celery stalk for pumpkins and, like, banana ghosts. And if I said that to any of these, they'd be like, "I'm sorry, what? Bring in some cookies." Like, "What are you talking about? We give out ice cream every day." Like, like, not they're
At
not
all.
concerned at all with sugar.
Right. 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 Right.
They're, like, very so, it's just different talks with, like, it's just the amount of conversations we have to have that I think were avoided when we were growing up. Like,
Right. Mm-hmm.
you had different conversations clearly from growing up Black in America
Sure. Sure.
that
Sure.
than I had, obviously, but I don't even think they had I mean, I don't we didn't even talk about college. Like, we literally, like, you know what it was? My dad would say, "Don't drive drunk."
Done and done.
That's it. You could have some wine here at the house, don't
Right.
drive drunk. Okay,
Right.
and don't, like, oh, don't get caught, like, and and if you get hit, hit back. Don't hit back. That
And
was
those were
that was
like those were the rules.
pretty much, and also, I mean, I got busted shoplifting, but that was, apparently, like, don't shoplift. Okay, you're like,
I may not have mentioned this one. Don't shoplift. Um. So we're talking about how that plays into the to the parenting piece, and obviously you'll share as much as you feel comfortable sharing. But you mentioned wanting to work on tools in terms of your marriage and so on. And
mhm,
I found, and then I have a question for you. I found that working through my stuff
mhm,
in a marriage is its own challenge.
yes,
One of the pieces of that being who I was 5 years ago isn't who I am now. But
mhm,
Daphne's been with me the whole time. So sometimes I think she's responding in part, and this is fair. I don't say this in a
yeah,
negative way.
no, yeah,
You've known me for 30 years. You're like, that's how he is. And and
mhm,
and and figuring out how to communicate it's different. This part's different now. For the better
yes,
or the worse. Like something that I used to think was cool that I'm like, please don't do that anymore. Sometimes
yeah,
it's something that, I used to get crazy about, and now I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, yeah, I'm just curious, is that your experience, like that balance part of like I'm continuing to change? We both are, but I am
Yeah.
specifically working on me.
Well,
How
yeah,
do I
and
communicate that or work
there's
through that?
also another factor too that I'm sure uh, you're going through is the difference now with the kids being independent and not in the
Yeah.
house. Now it's just you and Daphne. I
Yep.
mean, and your son, I don't know if you, I think, does your son live with you too?
Yeah, he lives here, but I mean, it's not like we're like getting him to soccer practice. I mean, it's
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
like 3 adults now living in the house, right?
right,
It's like
right,
you don't have
right,
to like,
exactly that.
he's not asking you to, "Hey, could you sit with me while I'm taking a bath so I can tell you about Minecraft?" Like I'm
Not
still
generally, not generally. I don't rule it out. Can you imagine me going,
my son just likes the company. He likes the bath, he likes Epsom salts, he likes the
yeah,
whole and he's like, "And
that's so funny.
I'd like conversation." "Okay, cool, you're in the bath," it's not like
Let's
I'm
do
there
it.
for safety, I'm just he wants to have a conversation with his mom while he's big.
By
Like, "Okay,
taking him, hey, done and done. Hey, man,
cool. I'll help you." He gets the spa treatment, "Would you like your hair washed?" "Cool, cool,"
that's
like
funny.
but,
That's
I
so
mean, he's
funny.
also still, like, 9. I know
Right.
that's gonna change a lot in the like, at obviously, but
Hmm.
for right now, I'm like, "It's fine." I mean, I'll give you a little I'll give you a little lotion on your feet. He's enjoying it. Li This boy's enjoying his spa treatment while it's still happening. I think he's gonna take full advantage, but when I think about, like, us changing, so, like, for example, he's been doing some work on himself, like, just recently, and I think that's why it's all starting to present in that way. So, and
Mm.
even if I think about it, like, we're married for 10 years now. We've been together in January, it'll be 13 years, and that still blows me away because I didn't even have a relationship for, like, more than 7 months before I met him.
Right, 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 right.
So, I've never experienced a longevity with a person.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
when you're by yourself and single, and I know I mentioned that before, but really when you're working on yourself, because when I was doing all the work in Al-Anon and all that, I was working the
Yeah.
steps, I was doing all that. I didn't have other personalities. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that it specifically affected me. Like
Yeah.
when I come home, it's easy to meditate and to be like, "Oh, I'm one with myself." When you close your door, you're by yourself and
That
nothing.
you right. There's no
You're
other
by
noise. Right.
yeah. Pour a
Right.
glass of wine, put on some forensic files and your night set, and we're gonna meditate and figure out why I reacted today. But then you add in a person that you're growing with because I think that's what people honestly don't real like everybody wants a marriage or they want to get married. Not everybody. Some people don't want to get married, which is fine. But what I don't think people realize, like with a marriage, is that there's so much more to it than we're just going to spend our lives together. You're growing as two people,
Right.
or at least you hope, or
Right.
and it's not like, and some people might be like, well, not everybody I think we all need some sort of spiritual or,
Companionship.
enlightenment or
Yeah.
just like going into, because
Oh,
there
okay.
ain't,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's not anybody out there that hasn't gone through something.
Sure.
I really honestly believe that everybody's had some sort of just eh, nobody's perfect. It's just not a perfect world,
Right.
you know?
Right. Right.
I mean, you could have had a great childhood, but then you met somebody that turned your world upside down and this and that. Like, there's just so many components of the world that it's
Mm-hmm.
really hard to imagine that we can't all do a little bit of healing inside, you
Of
know?
course. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and people don't realize that um we're constantly like having to take into the other person's feelings and consider them and realize that they have their own triggers, and how do we, it's not tiptoeing or walking on eggshells, but how do we work through these things that are triggering each other together,
Yeah.
as we're
Yes.
healing.
Yes. So that I love the way you just put that, working through it together. And it's a
Mhm.
process. And I'll speak to this as like something that, so sometimes I'll share just an example for me. So sometimes for me, whatever goes wrong, if I feel like we're still on the same side,
Mhm, yes.
I'm very good with Daphne. I've even tried to reiterate it more recently. Like I'll say it out loud, so I register it and she registers. Like, yes, more of this. When I feel like we're a team in it, we're
Mhm.
going through A, B, or C. But when I feel like it's like blame or we're now, then that's when it starts really falling apart for me. And recently, I've noticed Daphne, and I'm such a like simple creature. Daphne, when if she has to tell me something that she knows is gonna upset me or she disagrees or whatever it is, she'll touch me. Like I've
Mm.
noticed it, and she's even like, "Oh, can I hug you?" Or gonna, and it's kind of embarrassing how well it works. Like I'm like, what are you like? Hello, monkey man. Like, what? Like, are you serious right now? But like, I'm telling you, I'm seeing how well it works, and
Mhm.
I feel safe, and I feel
Mhm.
comfortable, and I feel whatever. And then even if it's something that I'm like, ugh, like
Mhm.
that's the so. But I think it's hard to share with people how nuanced that process is. Like I had to work on recognizing my triggers, and then I had to be able to work on how to communicate. And then
Mhm.
Daphne had to be able to hear me. That I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're against me. I'm saying it feels like you're right. Like all these things and the process of it. Um, I think I don't always feel that people get that part
Yeah. No,
right.
and I think they forget, like, we get very confused. I think the human touch is like a number third of a need
Right.
that humans need. It's like security, safety, touch, like a hug
Yes.
or just human contact.
Right.
Because people often think like there's I don't know if you've ever heard that the like they say sex is like the 16th need and they confuse the 3 and 16. It's like people
Ah.
think that like, oh, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a hug. We're
Yeah.
talking about holding a hand. We're talking about just like a touching on the shoulder and not in the creepy
Yeah.
way,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but like in our
Yeah.
partnership, in a friendship, just like,
Sure.
and I think that connection between you and her, it's like it's almost like she just knows that you need to connect first physically as far as touch and then communicate. Because I know, like, sometimes the best thing ever is just a hug from Chris,
Right.
just there's
Right.
just something very like safe in that,
Yes.
and I think that we're like, for us, we've been so in the he's working, I'm working, parenting, like we get so caught up in that
Mm-hmm.
everyday life that it's true. He's on his PlayStation portal. I'm on my phone or I go to sleep. Like we haven't taken that time to go, hey, what are you? How's your day? Or just any of that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
That's
it's like,
right.
well, I can't do. I got to figure out my career. Well, shit, like I'm cursing, but like, it's like, well, by the time I get there, like I've always, I've done that a lot where I put it. Well, I gotta have it look like this before I could do this,
I
and that's not helpful for any part of my life. That's where when we say I just want to separate my brain to
know. Right.
be like, hey, can we just? That's more like living in the present,
Yes.
and that's a hard
Yes.
thing for people.
And that's a hard thing in relationships. This isn't exactly where you were, but I want to say that's a hard thing in relationships because, and Daphne and I now, I mean, it's wild. We met in 1993,
Wow,
right?
wow,
And we were a couple in less than a year. So I'm
wow,
talking
really?
about, so spring of
Wow,
94, we are, as of that time, a couple. So that's 31 years of being a couple. We got married in
wow.
98. So this is a long. So one thing I had to work on was we talk about live in the present. The number of times Daphne would say or do something I didn't like,
Hmm.
and I'd be like, "Well, this is like the time." And I
Yeah.
got I got 30 years of material, man. She's got 30 years of material. She's got 30 years of my
Oh,
crap.
you want to bring up? Allow me to bring up the summer of
I mean,
2002. Right?
seriously, seriously. And so there's so much when you talk about being in the present with our kids too. Like there's so much to be said for what are we dealing with right now, right here,
Mm-hmm.
and into the pot. And now that I say that out loud, to the positive too, because like Maya being able to say to me, I had an Orlando Bishop moment. Like maybe she was embarrassed the time I yelled at the people at Spirit Airlines, but they had it coming, and
Yeah.
they had it coming, and she learned. You know what I mean? And so maybe it's both. Maybe
I
she
mean,
was
she got her phone
embarrassed,
back.
and she got her phone back. Both things are true. And I want it like somehow in my workings, I want it to be solved, right? So I want it to be like, no, 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 it was a good thing. No, no, oh, it was
Yeah.
a terrible thing. I should apologize, and I should never stop
No.
apologizing. And it's
Well,
like
right now
maybe
she's got some dude baffled, like, how did I let her get the phone from me?
I thought I had $1,000 easy. You
Like,
know,
good, you should. You gave that man a lesson he needed. How dare
how dare you? But yeah, it's that piece around being present
you? Mm-hmm.
is really tricky. And you had mentioned
Yeah.
even earlier the scarcity stuff. Do you work on that consciously in your parenting, like really saying like I'm working on
Oh,
being present,
yes.
that
It,
part?
it happened the other day. It happened the other day. It actually, I made a conscious effort to watch my words because we were in Burlington.
Mm,
I was getting like a pair of sneakers for Jayla and Jacob a jacket, and he wanted both jackets. These jackets, they're not expensive I mean, they're $35, $40 each jacket, but it's like, hey, we can't get both, buddy. Like
what are we doing?
shoes and a jacket for you because the boy is growing at insane rates. I mean, he's in a teen size. He's 9. Like it's like
Got it.
okay, listen, sir. I mean, I even got him a men's jacket, and it's just a little too big. So I'm like, okay,
Oh
I'll take.
wow.
He's in a 14, 16 now. Like he's just a
Oh damn.
very tall.
Big kid, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like Chris is exactly a Lilliputian over here. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
big
I'm
dude.
literally, I ain't slowing down I mean, they are,
Right.
Jayla's. I mean, I'm still like carrying her out of bed because, like, how you do? I don't know. I don't know. She's catching up to me.
That's
But
wild.
I said to them, and I didn't want to say, "Hey, that's too much money," or
Mm-hmm.
"Hey,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have it," or whatever. I didn't want to use any words that because he's so analytical. You
Right,
know,
right, right,
I just
right.
said, "We're just not gonna get that right now. We're just gonna get one jacket and we're gonna get one pair of shoes." Because Jayla's like, "I want both shoes." I'm like, "Let's just pick one for now. Let's just pick one for now."
Right,
And at point he's like, "Yeah, but why?" I was like, "Just because, okay, just because." No other
right,
words. My
right,
thesaurus is not working in my head. I don't have any other words. I'm not trying to scar you.
right,
Just because. It's just this is what we're
right.
gonna get today, and that's it. Because those things, like I could with the activities, I could use the word time and schedule, but
Mm-hmm.
for like why we're not getting 2 jackets, it's just because we're not right now. We're just gonna
Right.
pick one.
Do you find that sometimes your instinct, like I found I had to guard in both directions? So there
Yeah.
was that, and then there was the other side of me where, in retrospect, Daphne was 100% right. That the kid did not need, whichever kid it was, did not need A, B, or C. But suddenly I had this feeling
Yeah.
like, oh, I know what it feels like to not go on the trip or to not
Yes.
whatever because you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, but the money's going to be tight. And I don't want
Mhm.
them to feel any of that. But it's like, but that's
Mhm.
also reality. Everybody's got a budget.
I know, and I go through that all the time, Orlando, with
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm constantly like, God forbid, there's holes in the pants or anything that
I
like
know.
triggered me from and I know people grew up poor, and I'm not gonna say we grew up poor, but we certainly knew that we did not have a lot. Like we
Yeah.
knew we didn't. Trips were not like we went on a couple trips, but we also did not go on trips that we thought we were gonna go on, and we're told we're not because we can't afford it, and
Right.
we're gonna leave the house, and we're gonna and like all of that stuff. And they eventually did lose the house because of their own
Oh wow.
fighting over it,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have lost the house, but the 2 of them with their own
Right.
ego. I was an adult when they divorced, and
Oh wow.
you know, they they're like, well, we stayed together for the kids. Well, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. Okay. I would have rather adapted
That's
two households.
that's a whole episode. We could talk about
Yeah,
that
that's
for
a
sure.
whole thing we could talk
Yeah,
about. But
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you remember these core things. I remember being 5 and my mom saying, "Oh, we might have to move out because I'm gonna leave your dad." Like I shouldn't have known any of it. There's a lot of things I shouldn't have known
Yeah.
about my parents' marriage. So I make it a very conscious effort to not say words that I know they don't need to know about. You just I want you, you know what? That's why like even with chores, like I know that there's chores that they're gonna, there's things like clean up your plate. Like I get a little lackadaisical with it. I do a lot for them. I understand
Right.
that's probably my own trauma, but I've even said like because like they need to start doing their laundry. I'm like, hey, listen, they're gonna be doing laundry for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Okay. I
Right.
started doing laundry when I was like 8, and I've
Yeah.
been doing laundry for almost 40 years. You know what? How about
Right.
they
It'll
can
be
be a
fine.
kid.
It'll be
They're gonna
fine.
be we'll even get some extra like, we'll do a whole summer of, like, these are our responsibilities, and I've
Right.
often said to them, like, "Hey, you guys, when you get older, you're gonna have to take care of your stuff, and you're gonna have to do all"
Right. Right.
well, we've talked about that, but I also know what it's like to have to take on a lot of responsibility when I was very young. I mean, I was trying to sell things when I was, like, 7, okay? I've been trying to make
Mm.
a dollar for goddamn 40 years, okay?
Yep.
And shoot, it's like
Yeah.
I'm tired from it,
Yeah.
you know?
And
I think
yeah.
I don't know if I shared this with you, my friend, I might have told you this, that she, like, did my records, and she saw how many human reincarnations I had, and I had 8,444 human reincarnations. I'm like, "No wonder why I'm so damn exhausted. I've been here over 8,000 times. When am I gonna get it?" Like, this constantly
That
been
is fantastic. That is so funny. That is
right.
so funny.
God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
It
like
feels that way.
yeah. So,
It
really,
feels that
I
way.
know what when I know that I know you've made conscious efforts to parent your kids differently
Oh yeah.
than how we grew up, that's where the exhausting part, I think, comes in,
Yeah.
It's like and I don't we're never done. We're parents.
That part, and yeah. I mean, I want to wrap up because we've been, but I will say that part of you're never done.
Mhm.
I just I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I didn't like. I don't know what I thought life was gonna be like,
I
but I
know.
definitely thought it was like you're a kid and you learn all this stuff, and then you become an adult, and at a certain point, you just like get it, and
Mhm.
you just get it, and then you just go from there and just live happy because you get everything. And
Yeah.
and I was not prepared for it. Never ends. There is no graduation ceremony.
No.
It is
Same
just
Same with therapy, recovery, self-reflection, and when I say that, it's also like, so for example, my dad's always worried, and I don't really feel like I give him any reason to be always worried.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
but there may be that part because I am his first daughter, and my brother's got a lot of issues,
Challenges there.
and he might play the compare and despair game himself because I have cousins that are a doctor and a lawyer,
Right.
so it's like, I mean, that's his own stuff that
Yeah.
he might project onto me, but I'm like, what, literally, I mean, if you heard him, you'd think, God, there's Rose living in this terrible life,
Right, 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 right.
trying to be a comedian, and she should just go work at the
The
cafeteria. I don't know.
cafeteria, man. Let's go.
Yeah, like if I told my dad, I got a job, and this is no disrespect to cafeteria workers. I think
No, it's just not what you're doing.
but it's just not. First of all, I don't even know the hiring process of the cafeteria. Okay, I don't even know. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just trying
I
to figure
know.
out. Like, you
I
can't
know.
even tell. Like, if I told you, I'm very blessed with the rate I charge for coaching and people hire me and things like that. Like what we do. Like I'm blessed
Yeah.
that people and grateful. But if you told, you tell that to my dad, he's like, but the cafeteria, they have benefits. Like.
I cannot with the cafeteria. I cannot.
Oh,
Ah,
my dad wants me to work at the cafeteria. It's
I
been brought
know.
up every time he's been here. Cafeteria. Like at this point, I'm like, can I just borrow an outfit and I'll hang it up here?
And just like so you can relax. We have to come back to this part because certainly for me and finding out about the ADHD and whatever,
Yes.
that was never going to be my life. So there's part of me now that's like, oh my God, all the times I was like, all right, enough already. I'm just going to be like a quote unquote normal person, go get some job, show up to
No,
this some place with fluorescent lights every morning. And
that's not us.
every time I did it, it was a catastrophe.
I know. I
It
know.
was awful.
I know.
Like
Orlando, look,
awful.
I've been a year back to the restaurant, and I'm like, I can work Sundays again. Now I'm like, I'm about ready to torch this place. I cannot do this.
I cannot. And that's what it is. Like I actually cannot live like
No.
that. I just can't. So yeah, it's
Also,
interesting to
the
learn that
comedian
part.
in me, Orlando, because I know you and I, the humor in me when you were talking about like that 80% done,
Yeah.
right? And was that 20%? And my first thought was the ADD. Well, of course you're not 100% because you get distracted. You're like, you're like, oh, wait, I have to go. Oh God, I have laundry to do. And like, oh, but wait, we're just about to get to the other side. And you're like, oh, God, can you hold on a second? I'll be
Yeah.
right back. Swear to God,
Exactly. It
I'll be right
turns
back.
out
And it's like,
I don't know how
ooh,
much you know about the
I
James
see.
Webb telescope, but I need to know everything now. And I mean right now. Like, but we just have another 10%. No.
No. I've been sitting here too long. That's why when I hear people like, one really funny woman, Julie Kidd, she read my poem. She's like, "You're a writer. You should be writing. You need to write." And you know what? Honestly, when I get into it, like Chris has always said, like your emails to people, it's just like your conversationalist. And I should be writing down more of these stories. And that's one of the things that I should dedicate to this coming year, right? But when I've had friends, and you know them, our comedian friends that are in writers' rooms. They love sitting and just writing for
I know.
hours and
I know.
hours and
I
hours. And
know.
I'm like, oh God, oh my God, I know,
Yeah.
cannot. That's
Yeah.
and we just have to understand like we don't operate that way.
No.
I've been trying to fit myself in this weird ass box
I
that
know.
I just don't fit in.
I know. When I got to run a room for a very brief time, a whole other story.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I ran a room, it was doomed to piss people off. No, like the writers loved it. Like we were great in the room, and I stand by what we created. I stand by all of
Uh-huh.
it. Like I think we crushed it. But in terms of like executives dealing
Oh,
with whatever, it was never gonna work because I was like, yeah, like we were stuck. So we, as a group, just went for a walk. Like we just,
yeah.
like literally, I got everybody up and the entire writing staff is just walking around the room. like, I'm like, this is probably unorthodox.
Yeah, because
This,
they're like, "There's a strike. There's a strike. Great.
yeah,
Writer strike." And you're like, "No, it's just a
we
quick
just
stroll."
walking. Just go for a walk.
I'm like, "There's a writer strike." Like, they can't
No, it's. I'm sure people were just like, "What the hell is the story with this guy? Like, what's going on?" Anyway,
Yeah,
all right. Look, let them know where they can find you, Mama Moody. We will pick up this conversation next time.
yes.
I
You're
took
gonna
you way past what we said. I'm sorry, but
No,
yes,
don't
tell them where they
worry.
can find you.
Well, lately, I've been at the senior citizens community houses. It's great.
Get it done. Get it
A
done,
gig
bro.
to gig, right?
A
A lot
gig's
of,
a
like,
gig.
"Hey, my hearing aid's not working." I'm like, "It's probably better that way." That's been my line lately. "It's probably better you can't hear me." It's
That's
fine,
great.
man.
That's a
It's
funny
fine.
joke.
Literally, like, how's the food here? They have, Jello. That's so I've been
That
on
is great.
TikTok with my mom friends. It's Rodel Grazi, Mama Moody. Me and the moms have been having fun. Um, they're 20 years younger than me, and I don't know how I'm keeping up, but whatever. I'm doing it. I'm doing lives with my friend Kim, who does intuitive readings, and I literally have like a pickle, a mystic pickle. I literally that's my tools. I have a pickle that you press, and it tells you the answer to your life's questions.
Okay, I'm not
And
aware of any of this, and I'm gonna have to check this out now. But go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
so it's lives, it's content,
I
it's
love it.
coaching, it's uh actually, to be honest, this past year, and we'll talk about this another time. Like, I have not had as much stand up at all. That
Mm.
and that's been hurting my heart. So
Yeah,
I
I get that.
really what I'm putting it out there now, like part of like leaving this job that they don't know about, they're gonna find out in a couple weeks, but is like if I leave at night, it's for a gig. It's gonna be for a gig
Hmm.
and not for like I'm really putting it out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch my words and just put it
yeah.
out that once I let go of the like they say no to the good to say yes to the great,
Mm. I
you
like
know,
that.
and the no to the
Hmm.
good, it's not even a good work environment. It's
Right,
terrible.
right, 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 right.
Awful. But when I tell myself I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna be, what I had to ask ChatGPT for my mindset, scarcity mindset reset. It says I make money from my humor, my my magic, and
Mm.
my it gave me a whole like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
safe,
yeah,
leave, safe to leave. So really just uh I'm hoping that this upcoming year is going to be like filled with great stand up, like very abundant,
yeah,
fantastic stand up gigs that work for the schedule for my family,
yeah,
and more content, and you learning how to monetize and our podcast and the lives and
yeah,
just like a whole real like just abundantly magical time for our
yeah.
careers. That's what I'm putting out there for the new year. You know.
I love it. I want to do. I'm going to find out about the intuitive reading stuff. I will share that I think I usually bump into it via Instagram, but
Oh
you
yeah.
and the moms kill me. I'm like, what the hell are they doing today? Like, it's truly, and it's not. It's like, what the hell? Like, I kind of envision Chris just being like, what the hell's going on? What is this? What's going? What is it? What? And then like somebody's always falling. I'm like,
Oh
oh my god, what is going on? It's
always. And
very
people have
funny.
been sending us like different trio things, but some of them like I send it to them and like I think you might die. Like if it's like like if it's a flipping thing, we have to know like we might drop you and you'll
Like,
die. Like
like,
we shouldn't do this. Like
okay, look, listen, I'm in it. I'm in it. I don't want anyone to think I'm not committed, but I was hoping not to die.
yeah, they're like this doesn't look like it'll end well. Like you'll hurt yourself physically. I'm like, you're right, you're right. Let's do another one. Thank
I
you.
love
Stop
it.
sending us stuff that will die, please. Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. Well, find this show, find
Mhm.
clips from this show, find clips from Align Your Mojo,
Yeah,
and find clips from You Got Some Balls, our sports show, and all of it, sports and culture, at Align Originals. That's our YouTube channel. That's hopefully where you're
yep,
watching this and checking this out. But we are getting this stuff out there. We also have Unstuck AF episodes, which is the podcast where we have one-on-one interviews, and I talk to friends and friends of friends and everybody from Seth Godin to Kareem Cook, who owns Nature Aid, to all sorts of folks about their lessons in alignment. So just trying to be helpful, get all that info out here, entertain you while we do it. But how do we put together these aligned lives and live better and feel better and move to the next step? So thank you for each time, Ro, and we reconnect soon.
yes.